see a player represented from them. Marshall, he's just been unbelievable, hasn't he, as well. So, really, really good team of the week, that.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is great. I mean, look, Maludi again. I mean, yes, Story got that brilliant, length of the field try, but over the course of the 80 minutes, Maludi of the two centres was different gravy. Really, really good indeed, which is great. And Dawn Baker there saying 9 teams represented. Well, yeah, because we call it straight. We don't have favourites. Yeah. If people deserve to be in the team of the week, we put them in team of the week. We don't do reputation. We do performance. And these 13 players, for me, they perform the best in their respective positions. Like I say, we call it straight. That's the way it should be.
Exactly. I think I would say as well, how blessed are we in Super League with 13s at the minute?
Oh, incredible. And fullbacks, fullbacks, and centres, and second rows. I mean, there's some real quality talent on the field this year, isn't there? There really is.
Yeah, I think we had this discussion on Sunday night, didn't we, about loose forwards?
Yeah. You got Minchella, Asiata,
Cameron Smith.
It just goes on, doesn't it?
And long may that continue. Long may that continue. The greatest game on earth just continues to get better and better, as does Super League Raw, of course. Quiz night's on the way. Oh, it's just getting better and better all the time, isn't it? Hey, who wouldn't be a member? Anyway, moving on. Let's now get a quick word from our sponsor as we look forward to round number 4.
He's target. Oh, here comes.
Love that crunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
Yes, thanks again to our sponsors, Rugby League 3/4, the online community. If you like your bets, you like to, discuss the odds and ACCAs and all the rest of it. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But if you're into that type of thing, get yourself over to Rugby League 3/4 and enjoy a bit of friendly banter with like-minded people. Right, the round 4 fixtures, here they are, starting on Thursday with the Robins taking on the Wolves. Then it's Saints against the Red Devils. The Tigers entertain the Giants. The Leopards go up against the Rhinos. The Broncos go up against the Warriors, and finally it will be the Dragons who take on Hull FC. A really tasty lineup there of games this weekend. We're looking forward to each and every one of those, gentlemen, aren't we?
Oh yes, as ever.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we put a poll out. What was what was going to be the game of the week, which was game of the week, and the majority of Fans Forum polled that the top game, the Robins and the Wolves, was going to be this week's game of the week. So the game of the week will be uploaded. The full analysis show will be uploaded on Thursday morning, well before the kickoff at 8 o'clock. Make sure that you catch that on all of our social media channels, Twitter, YouTube, and of course Facebook before the game. Deep dive the analysis for this one. But here we go. This is it. Thursday, head to head. Last season, 4th, of course, and 6th respectively. But it was good news for the Wire. They did the double over Hull KR last year. If you remember, in round 4, Warrington went to Hull KR, really good game, 18 points to 10. That was the game where Frankie Holton, I think, had a belter against us, Greg, if you remember. And then round 12 at Halliwell, 21-14. But believe you me, at half-time, Hull KR were, without doubt, the team in form. If I remember, I think it might be Matt Parcell got a yellow card, and the game turned at the Halliwell Jones.
He did, yeah. Right,
current league positions, Warrington 3rd, Hull KR 5th. The game odds, 8-15 on our Hull KR, 8-5 the Wire. Of course, Hull KR 2 wins and a loss, Warrington a loss and 2 wins. And the players that I've just pointed out there on the graphic, we'll probably look at these in a bit more detail as part of Game of the Week. Peter Hiku, who's had a mixed fortune in his since coming back to England. Undoubted quality, but he has cost his team in the last 2 games by, of course, being shown a yellow card. And Leon Hayes. I mean, Leon Hayes against Mikey Lewis, that in itself, 2 young British halfbacks. It's going to be fantastic to see that this week. Before you come in, just to confirm, the Robins appear to be going into this full strength. George Williams is back in the 21-man squad of Warrington. Whether he plays or not is another issue. Geordie Crowther, as Greg said a moment ago, he's back as well in contention. No Drinkwater, no Wrench, no Ty, no Nicholson, no Thomas. So that's how they come into it. Greg, as it's Warrington, we'll start with you. This should be a belting game. Hopefully the pitch is a bit better than it was when Leeds went to town, and hopefully we get really entertaining kickstarts around number 4, mate.
Yeah, do you know what? This is one of those games that I've been to and froing with. Hull KR are full strength. We've got a couple of players out, but I'm hoping that George Williams is back to full fitness. And I'm hoping that Sam Burgess plays Williams and Hayes together. And that's why I've gone for a wire win, 1-8. I think it'd be close. And this isn't heart over head. I think the last 2 performances of wire, they've been real. They've ground out wins. They've soaked up a lot of pressure, and then they've come away with the game at the end of it. Yeah, the first home game, they had a dodgy red card. But Castleford played really well for the first 20 minutes, and Wire adapted to what was being thrown at them. I've not seen a Warrington team do that for a long, long time. And as Kev says, if Williams doesn't play, it has to be Ratchford, and that's where my prediction might go. But then we get Ratchford.
Oh, hang on. Can I just...
Let me finish. Then we get the kicking from Ratchford.
No. That wasn't where I was going. Don't be surprised if you put Sam Powell in the house, mate.
Well, he might do. He very well might do. And if he does that, then again, I'll go for a wire win, because I think Sam Powell controls the game really well. I know Steve says he fears the Wolves will get a hide, and I kind of, a couple of weeks ago when I looked at this, I thought, yeah, do you know what? That's going to be a real tough game, a real embarrassment. I think it's going to be an arm wrestle, but I think that Wire will win
1-8, a tight one.
Yeah.
Gary Schofield, he actually sees it KR 9-17, a comfortable win for KR, it has to be said. Joel sees it KR 1-8. He sees it a bit tighter. So too do the fans forum. They're going 1-8 for KR. So, not an awful lot in it here. Steph, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think a lot of it will depend on how Hull KR react from the Salford loss, and how they, they take that as a team. Obviously, they're on the home patch as well, which, we know they're strong at home. The crowd for them is massive there, and the atmosphere and everything like that. I like the way Warrington are building. I think I've said it a few times now in terms of very impressed with Burgess, how he's coming across in his press conference. They seem to be slowly building momentum, and I think people are starting to find the place. I think the halfback's going to be crucial for Warrington. I think getting Williams back with Hayes was massive if that happens. But I'm a bit more optimistic for Wire, and I'm going to go for Wire 1-8 on this one.
Yeah, you're going a tight one, Wire 1-8. You can see there in the chat, Lee Partington, our new member, he's going Wire 1-8. Connor Pickavance, he's gone Hull KR 18+ on YouTube. Good evening, Connor. Ryan Birch 1-8 for the Wire. Bit of love there for Wire. I'm going Wire. It might bite me, this one, but I think Warrington are just steadily building. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Warrington steadily build. I think they'll go and improve again this week. I think they have to improve again this week. I think KR is a far more challenging game than Hull and Castleford at home. Go to Craven Park is always going to be tough. But I just think
we're not laughing at you, Dave. We're laughing at Greg's comments in the chat. So.
Yeah. In terms of Wire 9-17, I'm going to go Wire 9-17. I think this could be a game where the likes of Vaught, I think the forwards are in good form. I think Harrison's in good form. I think the forwards might lay the platform. And what we're seeing about Warrington this year is when it does go out to the edges, they're looking quite potent. So I might be wrong when I say that, but I'm going to go the Wire 9-17. Like I say, could be wrong, but hey ho, there you go. Right, where are we going to go next? Let's have a quick look. Where did I think we were going to go? Oh yeah, we're going to go to the game involving your team, Steph. Let's go there. The Lee Leopards taking on the Leeds Rhinos. This should be a belter. I think Kev Wall in the chat said this should be a great game, and I agree. It should be a great game. Lee desperately need their first win of the season. As for the Leeds Rhinos, 2 out of the first 3 and a really good assured performance against Catalan. They will go into this game full of confidence. Last year, Leeds out the top 6. Lee obviously within it. But look at that. Last season, home and away, the Lee Leopards defeated the Leeds Rhinos. In the corresponding fixture last year at the Leopards, it was 20 points to 6 in round 10. And that night, they were very, very good indeed with the Lee Leopards. When they went back to Headingley, it was a 13 points to 6. Current league position, of course, only played 2 games. The Leopards, they sit in 9th, 7th for Leeds, just outside. Look at the odds, 6-5, 8-11 on are the Leeds Rhinos. 65, bit of value there if you're a Lee Leopard. 2 losses, of course, a win, a loss, and a win. Matt Moylan, I picked out Matt Moylan in this one. I thought he improved dramatically in that game against the Saints. And Harry Newman, how can we not be impressed by Harry Newman this week just gone? They're the 2 for me that I've picked out to watch. Greg, Matt Moylan, how impressed were you in defeat against Saints? Were you with Matt Moylan?
Yeah, I thought he showed he was a class player against Saints. He stood up well. He tried to be creative. I thought I thought he had a decent showing. I think he's gonna. I think the thing with Moylan is I think he's going to grow into the game, and I think given the injuries that are coming back, I think once the injuries come back, I think that will give Moylan a chance to shine. Yeah. I really do. I think he needs maybe a couple of more games to kind of to stamp his authority on the team and to kind of lead them around the park a little bit more. But he's got the potential to be one of the stars of the season.
Before you go in with your prediction, let's just clear up a few things. Obviously, no Briscoe, no Asiata, no Ipape. We know that. Amon is back, is my understanding for this one. He's back from his ban. It's going to be interesting. In fact, before Greg gives his prediction, let's jump to Steph as the inside man on Lee. First of all, Leeds Rhinos. Alensky could return for this one, is what we're hearing. No Sam Lazone still. And, of course, Bentley's out for a match because of that incident with Tarek Sims at the weekend, which again is a bit of a bonus really for you considering the players that you've got out. It's good to see that. And as Linda Bloomsman says there, to Pal may bring them some luck. Hey, one to wait. She's going, hey, a China in your hand. Let's give it a bit of heart and soul, and let's hope there's a good Valentine to go with it. Oh, I know, Mike Carroll Decker. Don't you worry about that. Anyway, that's how it is. Steph, Lee. If you was to win against Leeds first, your first win was to come against Leeds at the weekend, that'd be right, Brucey, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, Adrian Lamb has already called it in his press conference today as a must-win game for us, which I was a bit surprised that he said that, to be honest with you. But I think it is a massive one for us. I think with the Moylan point, I think what we've got to remember with Moylan is he's an NRL halfback. He's only ever played in the NRL. It's a different game over here. And it takes a bit for halfbacks to settle in. So I think he's probably settled in quicker than what I thought he would have done. But he's massive for us in this game. And I think Amon coming back is massive as well. I think we've got a very good pack. And I think for them to be missing Bentley is massive for them because he's their enforcer. I'm expecting it to be really close. I think it's going to be a great game. It's on. I think we're the feature Sky game again, aren't we?
I think you are. I mean, Nicola Burtonwood there in the chat, she thinks it will be your first win of the season. Here's an interesting point before you give your prediction. Kev Worrell. Kev, good evening to you again. Lamb's not started on fire like he did last season, I think, and it's a good point. Moylan showed glimpses in that game against Saints, but at the moment, Loughlin's just not hitting straps, has he?
Yeah, I think, it's one of those. I think he hasn't. I think the big thing with him is he went to PNG in the off season, so he's not had a pre-season. So he played them international games, over in Australia. It's a bit like Saints doing the World Club Challenge. So I think he's settling back into it. I think he played all right against Saints. I don't think he had a bad game.
The problem is, though, Steph, he was that good last year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But again, we've played 2 games. You know, give us a chance to. I think everybody's still finding their feet, aren't they? And hopefully,
I won't be disconcerting when I said that, mate. I mean, I think by his own high standards, I think that's the problem with Lamb. Last year, he was so good that perhaps he is playing all right. I mean, you're closer to it than me. Maybe he is playing all right, but as a neutral watching Lee, because he's just not sparkling like we know he did last year, maybe we're being a bit harsh on him.
No, I think a lot of it came though off quick rucks, and obviously not having a Pape has had a big impact on Lamb in that respect as well. Yeah. So, but now we've got Dwyer, who I thought was outstanding against Saints. Hopefully that should get that bit of time for him. Obviously, losing Asiata's another big one that's going to affect Lamb, because everything that came through Asiata went to Lamb. So he's kind of on the back foot a little bit. So I'm quite relaxed with it at the minute, and I think he'll we know his quality and he'll come into his own. I think as Moylan grows into it and takes a bit of pressure off him as well, that should only make him better.
As the Lee man as well, we know that you mentioned Dwyer there. Dwyer's coming for Pape at hooker. Let's talk about the other problem areas for you. Loose forward and the wing. No O'Brien as well. I don't think he passed his HIA, did he? He did. Right, so that's happy day. So O'Brien's still in there, which will allow Hardacre to remain in the centres. So wing, first of all, who's going to play loose? That's a poison chalice. Who's playing loose forward in replacement of Asiata? Who would you put there, and who do you expect to be on the wing?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays Davis there, but I suspect what he may do, because we've got a bit of luxury in the second row, so I suspect he will play Frankie Alton and Trout in the second row, and maybe move Kai O'Donnell to 13, because he's a ball playing. He's got good hands as O'Donnell. So I'm not a coach. I'm not Adrian Lamb, but that's maybe what I'd do. And on the wing, Keenan Brand's gone out on loan to Bradford, so obviously he can't be recalled because I think it's 2 weeks minimum on that. So I suspect he'll keep Hardacre in centre rather than bring Chamberlain in at centre and move Hardacre to the wing. And I think he may give either Maya Hanley or Nisbet a run on the wing. Because both
it'd probably be Nisbet going off pre-season, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I thought Hanley had a great game against Warrington in pre-season as well. I'd love to see him get his chance, but Adrian's obviously working with him day in day out, and it's we've got to remember on that side as well, they're going to be marking Hanley. So I think defensive wise, that's what he's got to go off for whoever he picks there. So that's maybe where Nisbet will get the shout on that one.
Fair enough. And there's I don't know who this David Sale is in the chat, but he's going on about Dwyer's. I know who David Sale is. He's our next Super League Raw member. Of course, that's who David Sale is.
He's the 1,000 YouTube subscriber.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the 1,000th YouTube subscriber got us over there. But our Dave. We look forward to seeing him pop up in the next few days. Here you go, Dave, just for you. That's how you do it. www.patreon.com Super League Raw, my friend. Don't be shy. Come and join the party. Right, Greg, you've had the wisdom of Mr. Sale in terms of what he's had to say. So go on, my friend. Who are you going in this one? Should be a belter.
It should be a close game. And I think, going back to the Lamb thing, I think probably it's a second season syndrome in Super League. A lot of coaches have worked him out. Therefore, it's up to him to change his game maybe slightly and to do some things a little bit different. He's got a new halfback partner alongside him as well. Remember that? So, the partnership he had last season has been broken up. They've got to learn how each other play again. So that's an important thing to think about. I think the injuries, the missing players for Lee will cost them this weekend. And I'm sorry, Steph, I'm going for Leeds 9-17.
So quite a A convincing win there. Steph,
Yeah,
you have right to reply, Steph. You have right to reply.
And I retract my Warrington 1-8.
The solidarity has gone.
Oh,
Go on, mate.
Completely out the window, that one, wasn't it?
That was the end of a wonderful relationship.
Oh, dear, that's your corporate ticket gone for August.
I'll bring the wife. Go on, carry on, mate.
Mrs. Kane, you were always invited. It was. Yeah, no, I think I think it's going to be a really, really good game. It's good that we're going to have the fan experience back, because the first game we didn't have respect for our former life president Brian Bowen. So I think that was the last game was quite flat. There wasn't the build up and the hype they were expecting from every game last season. So I think it's going to be a lot more energy in the crowd for Friday's game. I believe we're putting a circus tent outside for Wilkin for all our clowns that we've got in our team. I'm sure I hope he's there. He's going to get absolutely annihilated when he walks out at LSV next week, Wilkin. But anyway, I think that we're going to just pip this one. I'm going to lead 1-8.
Right, okay. And as Kev Wall says, they thought that you were a closet Wire fan. Of course, he's a closet Wire fan. There's a lovely friendship built up here. We look after our own.
You can't just ruin that friendship.
Yeah, well, I'm about to absolutely, completely kibosh it. But that's bad of mine. Do you know what? I get your point, and there's a lot of love in the chat from Leopards fans. I've gone Leeds 1-8, and I'm going to explain why I'm going Leeds 1-8. I think Lee might just try too hard this week. I think after 2 losses and the weight of expectation, Lee last year were fantastic, absolutely fantastic with the rebrand, with the crowds, with everything that went around it. These players, they're only human. We forget that. Players are human. And even though they'll be trying their best to play it down, they will expect more themselves. The fans have started to probably expect a little bit more. And I'm just concerned that, I think had they have not had the injuries, they still could have tried too hard. But I think the fact that now they've got to compensate for the injuries as well, that's why I'm going Leeds 1-8. I still think Lee will be competitive. I think it'll be really close. And I hope I'm wrong for you, Steph. I really do. But I just fear they're going to try too hard, and that's going to force errors. And, unfortunately, that could cost you. Yeah. Gary Schofield, he's gone Leeds 1-8. Greg, of course, just to confirm, he's gone 9-17.
Yeah, and I think it will be a close game. I just think injuries will take the toll. The last 20 minutes, I think Leeds will run away with it to a certain degree. Not by that much, but I think they'll, it'll be a close game first 60. But I think your injuries will play a big part in this result, Steph.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point on a Tuesday night, there's no right or wrong answer. No. We'll find out on Friday night. But, I think the only thing I'd say is, given our adversity we've played 2 games because we've not had the third game, obviously, against Wigan. Realistically, if we'd played that game, we'd probably looking at 3 losses out of 3. But what I would say is we lost to Huddersfield by 1 try, which, we should have been better in that game, and Huddersfield played really well. And we went to St Helens away, who we know are great. They're the only team on 6 points at the moment and lost by 1 try. Yeah. So I'm not writing us off this year.
Oh, no.
And I think we've still got the team capable of beating Leeds, but I think that'll come down to the players. And I think how we start is going to be very important on Friday night. If we get a bit of confidence early on, we can do it. But
I think Kev Wall again in the chat. Good evening again, Kev. But he says the comment from Lam, it's unnecessary pressure. Even without that comment, I think that there will be, they won't say there'll be that little bit of pressure, and like I said, it's overplaying. But the fact that Lam's now said it's a must-win, it adds to that pressure. Look, mate, I hope you win it. I really do hope you win it. But I just think that that's why I've gone the 1-8. There you go. Now, there will be people, just want to clear up a few things. Yes, the competition is still coming. Stay where you are. We are going to do the draw a little bit later in the show. So stay with us. £25 worth of gift vouchers. That is being given away tonight. Stay with us for that. And some people might be thinking, well, where's Tries of the Week gone? Well, of course, it's a podcast now as well. And podcasters can't see tries of the week. So it's got a new home on a Monday. On a Monday on the news update, tries of the week will be posted. You can go over to our YouTube channel and you can see that video at your leisure. And that's great for the podcasters as well. If you want to watch Super League Raw, Team of the Week, the graphics around tries of the week, all of the things that we do, Game of the Week, if you want to see all the graphics as well as everything else, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once you've listened to the podcast, if you want to, you can go and take a look at the videos that actually get played during the show that you only hear as part of the podcast. Right, okay, guys, that cleared that up nice and well, didn't it? Right, we now go to St Helens. St Helens taking on Salford Red Devils. Outstanding what Paul Rowley has done early doors. You know, everybody wrote them off at the start of the season. They've had two brilliant wins from the last two games. Mark Sneed has just been just incredible, absolutely incredible. But they are coming up against a St Helens team that quite simply have hit the ground running. No matter, you know, the amount of times Salford have gone close against Saints. I mean, look at that round 21 game last year, 18-15. They've done it year in, year out. They just don't seem to get over the line against St Helens Salford. I don't know why that is, but they just don't. Wellsby, I mean, God, we could have put so many different players as a player to watch for which is the form of the team at the moment. 2-9 on, 7-2 Salford. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, there's always a glimmer of hope. I think 7-2, especially based on the last two performances from Mark Sneed, I think he's probably quite generous, if I'm being honest, chaps. I think Salford, you know, have played really, really well. And there's a chance that Noah Faluma's coming in for this one, which you'll be interested to see. Matty Lee is expected to be back for Saints. Wonga Blake also. Joe Batchelor in the mix, we're hearing. But Sivinen out, that's a big blow because Sivinen's been playing some wonderful rugby league. Of course, Parsi is a long-term absence. And Conrad Hall. Wonga Blake will probably replace Conrad Hall in the centres, of course, Hull and match ban. Concerns for Salford. Ryan Briley, of course, pulled out ahead of the last game. Spoke to Ollie Partington this week, and Ollie is not going to be playing this one. He's still a few weeks away. Ollie will be appearing as a guest and in conversation in the next few weeks and months. So, hence the reason for that chat with Ollie. He's unlikely to be playing this week. Couple of weeks still away. Ethan Ryan, of course, still out. Adam Sidlow also expected to be out, as is Joe Mellor. That's the absentees for this one. Steph, St Helens, Salford. Can you see an upset, or are you going with the irresistible Saints?
Well, I think I was one of the only ones that backed Salford to do all right this year. So I think, you know, again, we're only round 3 done, but they have started really well. Is it 2 wins out of 3 for Salford?
2 from 3, yeah. The last 2.
Yeah, last 2. Did they lose 2 in the first round?
They lost to Leeds.
Leeds away, weren't it?
Yeah.
But it's one of those where I think as good as Salford have been, Saints are better. Having you know, seen both of them play this year, I think I can't go any other way than 9-17 for Saints. I think it's 2 scores to Saints, especially at St Helens as well.
It is,
yeah. So at Saints at home, I think will be too much for them. But you know, I'd love it if they beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it'd be good for the and Saints fans don't like us saying this, but you know, it's the same with Wigan. It's good for the comp. You know, it's good for the comp. It's good for the competition. We had a great season last year, really close. We don't want teams running away with it. We want it nice and tight. Freddie McGilvray, a new Super League Royal member. Good evening, Freddie, sir. He says Saints 9-17, and he says they're looking like the Saints of old. Greg, would you agree?
I think that if not, they're getting close to it. Salford, you know, are always trying to overcome some adversity, and I think people who think Saints are going to run away with this, I don't think Saints will run away with this. I think Salford will put a fight up, as somebody's put in as Greg has put in the comment. Salford centres are decent centres, and I think, you know, they've got quite a decent pack, Salford. I'm going Saints 9-17. I don't think it'll be the walkover that a lot of people think it's going to be. I think Salford, in the last couple of performances, have shown that they're a decent side. They've been written off. So I'm going Saints 9-17.
Fair enough. Yeah, good point. Look, I think, I said in Game of the Week last week, for Leeds to beat Catalan, they needed to go to the edges.
Yeah.
And they did that superbly well. And I would say exactly the same in this game. You hit the nail on the head there, Greg, that if Salford can be expensive, we know they like to be expensive. I hope Briley's playing, because I think that changes the game. If Briley's not at full back, they just lose that coming in on the arch. He's such a clever, quality player.
He played well, though, didn't he? He had a good game.
Atkin played really well, but he's no Briley, is he?
No.
He's no Briley. But yeah, I think that three-quarter line, Dion Cross really took his try well at the weekend. Nene McDonald, Lafayette are the two biggest centres in Super League. Yeah. It's for and ball playing centres as well. And then if Nofaluma comes in on the right hand side, I mean, there's some serious beef there on the edges. And then you look at the second row: Sam Stone, Callum Watkins on the edges. There's plenty there for Saints to be concerned about. There really is, but they never seem to play well at Saints. They never seem to get a win against Saints. And Saints at the moment are in such good form. I'm in agreement with Ryan Birch, Callum Calver as well. I'm going Saints 18+. I think Saints are going to put on a show, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's closer than that. But I do think that Saints at the minute, the way they're playing, they've just got strike everywhere. I'm going to go Saints 18+. As with you guys, as with Greg, though, Joel, the fans forum, yourself, Steph, you're all going 9-17, as is Gary Schofield.
I think
you've seen it as a bit of a great score.
I think the reason why I've gone 9-17, and I think it's because of everything we've just talked about with Salford. Although I don't think Salford are going to win, I do think they're going to score points. So for Saints to put 18+ on them, you're relying there on Salford really not scoring very many. Now I can see them scoring 2 or 3 tries in this game, which means Saints are going to have to put on 30, 40 points on them to get an 18+. So that's my only reason why I went 9-17.
But Greg, Saints' defence this season has been ferocious.
It has been. But as I think as Greg Roach has said, that they've got some big backs of Saints. Yeah, and I think I with Steph. I think Salford will score some points.
Well, I hope you're right, gents. I hope you're right, but that's how that one transpires. Right. I'll tell you what's been really interesting. There's a couple of games this week that really had me scratching my head. Which way am I going to go? And this one absolutely is in that bracket. The Castleford Tigers are entertaining Huddersfield Giants on Friday night. This, for me, was a right head scratcher in terms of a prediction. I'd be very interested to see what those who are in the chat have to say about this one. I found this really hard to call. Let's just go through the tail of the tape a little bit on this one. Last year, of course, Castleford 11th, the Giants 9th. They played each other 3 times, and all 3 games went the way of the Huddersfield Giants. The first game in round 4 was at the John Smith Stadium, 36-6, the way of Huddersfield Giants. I think that might have been their first win of the season. Maybe, I can't quite remember. Then they had a second game, again at the John Smiths, 20-4, a bit closer that time. And then who can forget round 21 when they went to the Jungle and nilled the Castleford Tigers 28-0. That's history. Of course, tomorrow is the future, as they say. Current league position, 11th for Castleford, 8th for the Huddersfield Giants. These are the odds, 13-10, the Castleford Tigers, 4-6 on the Huddersfield Giants. 3 losses in a row, but competitive losses. 1 win and 2 losses for the Giants. Again, competitive is what I would say. I thought Ennis Senior played brilliantly against us throughout the game for the whole 80 minutes. I thought Senior was a handful. I have to say that. We know Westerman's quality. And Elliot Wallace, it had to be. Ennis Senior, the ex-Huddersfield man. Elliot Wallace, the ex-Castleford man. Woo! A great memory, Dave. Cheers for that, Joel. You're a top man. I try my best for you, Chief. I try my best for you. I mean, Elliot, there's the narrative right there, guys. There is the narrative right there. Ennis Senior, Elliot Wallace, that winger stuff that you didn't buy. Going head to head. This should be fascinating. It's so hard to call this one.
Yeah, it's. I think the biggest factor in this game is going to be the pitch. because obviously Huddersfield, who used to play it on that great surface there, Welland Road, we know is it's a cold. It's a bit like Craven Park, proper old school rugby thing. And I think Castleford will thrive off that, especially if they can get a big crowd for this one as well. Because I think the home crowds have been pretty decent at Castleford this year, considering last season. They've the thing. So if the fans can get into it, I think it could be a really close game. But for me in this one, I'm going to go with my old mate. I'm backing my mates this week, unlike some people. I'm going to go with Joel and Freddie and the boys on this one, and Ryan. So I'm going to go 9-17 Huddersfield.
Fair enough. Jason Gary, obviously he's out. Danny Richardson should be back for this one. Paul McShane is still out. Nemo's still out. George Griffin out. Of course, Liam Watts, I think he's still suspended for this one. I think he is. I think Joel will be interested in the chat. I think Luke Yates might be returning for this one. I don't know if he's quite going to make it. Harry Rushton as well should be back. Matty English out after suffering concussion. He's not going to be there. Savelio still expected to be out. Joe Greenwood should be in contention. And Adam Milner, of course, will miss out with a game's ban in this one.
I think Ryan Luke should be back.
Yates and Rushton back, good. The other thing about the Jungle as well is it's a tighter pitch, isn't it? It's a lot tighter. Greg Rhodes, £25 for away adult, a bit steep. He's saying £25 for an away adult. I mean, we had that chat.
Come to the Leopards Den.
we had the chat though, didn't we? About they need to probably look at travelling supporters and how they market that across the game.
Yeah.
Again, go to the Final Whistle podcast. Hear what we had to say about that. Greg, did you find this a tough one to call?
I did. I found it very tough, and watching back the last couple of games from the Giants and Cass, I thought Cass against us played well in patches, and there were a couple of incidents, a couple of calls that might have gone against them. And I'm going to be a bit controversial here, and I'm going to upset my friends in Huddersfield
again.
You trying to get rid of us all here, Reggie?
It's Huddersfield in the lead today, tomorrow the world. I'm going to go Castleford 9-17, and do you know what? It's just on a hunch. I think Castleford. I think they're going to turn it on. I think they're going to turn it on, and that's just on a hunch. That I think Castleford are going to win 9-17.
Okay. Innis Senior on the score sheet, then I take it?
Oh, yeah.
Just to drive the dagger home.
Greg Roach said, I've got no friends. I know.
That's it. Greg's not even going to come on the Final Whistle this week. What are you doing? Unbelievable. Shocking stuff. Absolutely shocking. Ryan Birch has no words. Ryan can't even describe it. Do you know what? This for me could go either way, gents. Either way.
You know
I don't.
Giants with 18 plus, Casco with 18 plus.
I think it'd be tight.
I'm on one of those hunches that I've got, which means I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, no, I think this could be. I think it's a 1-to-waiter. It could be a 1-to-waiter either way. I'm going to back Joel and the lads at Huddersfield just try to bring a bit of equilibrium back and to keep them coming back. I'm going to back Huddersfield 1-8. Gary Schofield sees Huddersfield 9-17. Joel sees it 9-17. Steph, you've said 9-17. The fans form also saying 1-8 Huddersfield. Just Greg going Cass. I do think this will be a tight game. I really, really do. And, just like the Salford-Castleford game, I think it's going to be intriguing. As a neutral, I think it's going to be an intriguing game.
It's played on Sunday, is it?
No, it's Saturday, I think. It's Saturday, this one. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Either way.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Callum Carver, he's saying Cass.
It's going to be a great game.
Callum's saying Cass 1-8. And Greg Roach saying it's not a good game for either side.
No, it's Friday. Friday night.
It's Friday night, sorry. And Joel's going to be there. Joel is going. So there you go. Hot off the press. Joel is going. So when he joins us for the Final Whistle this week, he'll be able to give us a view from a man who was in the stands. Right, let's go to Saturday. And to this one, the London Broncos taking on the champions, the Wigan Warriors. Second place, 12. Current game odds, 10-1. I thought that'd be a bit larger than that, from being honest. 1-25 on Wigan. That pretty much says it all. 3 losses, 2 wins. James Meadows, for me, I thought he was brilliant against Hull. I hope he continues his progression. I think this kid could be remaining in Super League after the season. I think somebody will pick him up at the end of this year. And I'm also really excited because rumour has it Alex Walker is going to be back for London. He was a player we picked out in the pre-season shows. It's going to be great to see Alex Walker on the field as well. So, yeah, some really good news there with Walker coming back. Hopefully Meadows has a good game. And I picked Jay Field out as the player. I think Mr. Field thus far has really had his moments in the opening rounds. You out there, Greg?
Yeah, so he just switched my printer on.
All right, fair enough. Disgraceful behaviour. Have a word, mate. Have a word. I'll pull the plug out next week. But anyway, it's a big one. I think Greg will start with you. It's got to be 18 plus, surely.
London by 60 plus,
or not, as the case may be.
No. Suddenly, reality kicked in. Wigan 18 plus.
18 plus. Steph.
Do you know what? It could be one. No, it's not going to be one of these games. No, Wigan have got for, and that's no. I think London going to Hull and doing what they did was outstanding. But it's the world champions, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, against London. I think I don't think it's going to be a massacre though. I think they'll stick with them for a bit. And
you don't think Connor's prediction of 40 plus is accurate then?
Well, he could get to 40, but I wouldn't say that's massacres. I'm talking like 70, 80s kind of.
I don't see that.
It shouldn't be that, and it'd be interesting to see what the team selection is for Wigan. Whether they use it as a round to rest a few players, maybe.
Utilise the squad.
Exactly, yeah, and bring it. The squad players, first team players, but whether they just change things about a bit and whether he uses it to see some of those players actually play a full 80 kind of thing as well. So that's why I think it might be a bit closer than what people are expecting. But I do expect a Wigan win, and probably about in the 30 mark I'd expect in this game.
Yeah, and I think Freddie McGilvery's point, Craig Rigby there in the chat, another member saying 30 plus. We know that Craig's a Wigan fan. Connor Pickervance got involved loads tonight. Connor, go and check out the memberships, my friend. It's great to have your company. Great that you're getting involved with us. Go and check out those memberships. The link is in the on YouTube. If you check in the comments, there is a link there. Go and have a look at it. We'd love you to be a part of Super League Raw, the community that we're building here. Freddie McGilvery, though, I think that's a really good point. We saw it last season, Catalan, Saints and Wigan. Points difference last year was vitally important. Saints have got off to a flyer in terms of their points difference. I think he's spot on there, Freddie McGilvery. Wigan, very professional. They will be looking to certainly match what St. Helens put on London, if not more. So that's a really good shout from Freddie. Everybody's gone 18 plus, everybody. So good luck. And I mean that, good luck. I'm really impressed with the way Mike Eccles is conducting himself. I wish London nothing but the best. I know we all do.
I think if London can keep Wigan below 30, I think that's a moral victory.
A good result, yeah. Like Saints in the opening game.
Everyone's right in Michael Eccles' team talk for him, aren't they? Right, everyone's expecting him to get battered. Yeah. So, that's the perfect thing for him. Show him why you're wrong.
Spot on.
And the week after when they play Warrington.
Oh, you keep going on about that, dear mate. Right, Saturday, Catalan Dragons taking on Hull FC, bringing the curtain down. Catalan, of course, last year second, Hull 10. Last season, this corresponding fixture was round 3, 38 points to 6. The Dragons won that. At the MKM later in the season, 28-18, the way of the Dragons as well. 4th against 10th this season. The odds 1-16, the Dragons, 17-2. Again, Hull FC, the likes of SASA is back for this one, of course. His ban has now expired, so he'll be back on the park for Hull FC. We know that Brad Fash is out, Joe Kate is out, and expect that Jordan Lane might be a doubt as well. No Jake Truman still, so the absentee list is still pretty hefty if you are a Hull FC fan. The positive for them, though, in terms of absentees, it would appear Mike McMeekin has a slight back injury, unlikely to feature in this one. Takiaho's still out, no Manny Mao, no Tanguy Zenon, and Mickey McAlorum is still serving his suspension. So a little bit of good news there if you're a Hull FC fan. I picked out Tom Johnston in this one. It's amazing, isn't it, that Tom Johnston is yet to score in the 2024 Betfred Super League. You'd have thought that after 3 rounds. And, of course, for me as well, Callum said it in final whistle, Jack Walker's consistency for Hull FC. It'd be a miss not to have put him as the player to watch. I think Jack's having a phenomenal start to this campaign. Steph, I'll start with you this time. Hull FC going off the back of a very tight win to London. Can they back it up? I mean, look, remember Huddersfield last year, when they went to Catalan, everybody wrote Huddersfield off. Everybody expected Catalan to do them, and Huddersfield showed up that day. It can be done. Will it be done?
No. No, I think it's a big boost for him to get double homework back for Hull. SASA. It's it's always a thing for them as long as he can keep his cool or whatever. But I think going over to Catalan, they'll be smarting from the Leeds result. They'll be wanting to right a few wrongs there. I think this one has got more of a potential to be a cricket score than the London game. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope it is closer than that. But I can't see past Catalan 18 plus in this one for me.
Greg?
Well, Callum said, Hull 1-8. So, Callum, for you, Dragons 18 plus.
Yeah, I mean, look, right across the board.
I'm sorry, Callum.
Look, I don't think Callum will mind. Right across the board, again, unfortunately, we've all got 18 plus to Catalan Dragons. Again, we hope we're wrong. We're hoping that when we tune in to this on Saturday, it's a proper contest, because that's what the neutrals want. We want proper contest. But I think Catalan will be smarting after what was a very disappointing performance from them, taking nothing away from Leeds. Leeds was superb, but they will want to bounce back. Craig Rigby is saying that, Greg, you are on fire, sir.
On fire. I tell Callum, if Hull win 1-8, Dave will buy you a pint the next time we play Hull.
Absolutely. I might even buy him 2. I'm that confident. But anyway, that's by the by.